Mataji.
Yes.
Dharma swanustitha pumsam
Dharma swanushtita pumsam
vishwakasena kathasu ya
Vishwasena Kadasuya
notpadayed yadiratim
Notpadayati
shrameva hi kevalam
Shamayeva Kevalam
dharma swanustitha pumsam
Dharma swanustita pumsam
vishwakasena kathasu ya
Vishwasena kadasuyah
notpadayed yadiratim
Nopadayet yadiratim
shrameva hi kevalam
Shamayevahi kevalam
dharma swanustitha pumsam
Dharma swanustita pumsam
vishwakasena kathasu ya
Vishwasena kadasuyah
notpadayed yadiratim
Nopadayet yadiratim
shrameva hi kevalam
Shamayevahi kevalam.
Someone please read word to word.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dharma, occupation. Swanustitaha, executed in terms of one's own position. Pumsam, of humankind. Vishwaksena, the personality of Godhead, plenary portion. Kadasu, in the message of Yaha, what is. Na, not. Utpadayet, does produce. Yadi, if. Pratim, attraction. Shramaha, useless labor. Eva, only. He, certainly. Kevalam, it entirely. Thank you. Prabhu.
Thank you. Someone please translation.
The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Anybody? Purport?
There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view of gross bodily comfort. Above these, gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover all in the mental sphere, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy and propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and the mind. But above the body and mind is the dormant spirit soul, whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spiritual soul. Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. The questions of the satisfaction of the self is raised here. The self is beyond the gross body and subtle mind. He is the potent active principle of the body and mind. Without
Prabhu,
knowing,
I can read, Prabhu. You can.
okay,
I will continue. Yeah.
okay.
Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply with emolument of the body and mind. The body and the mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul's needs must be fulfilled. Simply by cleansing the cage of the bird, one does not satisfy the bird. One must actually know the needs of the bird himself. The need of the spirit soul is the is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of the material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection for God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and mind in the form of perverted affection for gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord, and any occupational activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting the transcendental message of Godhead is said herein to be simply a waste of time. This is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the salvationists are considered to be useless because of their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material again is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in the other. Even if he goes up to the Swargaloka, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. The hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, yeah, these words, the translation and purport is very clear what our Prabhupada is trying to say. So the context of this is, so the sages are asking, what is the, basically it's a glories of devotional service. So everybody's has to work. So in Bhagavad Gita, we read that we are not even a single moment, there is not even a single moment where we don't do any karma. So we always do something. So in this world, we always have some occupational duties. Whether we know it or not, we follow that occupational duties. So anybody who's strictly following Varnashrama Dharma, but they are not inquiring about the Lord, it is said that Shrama Eva Kevalam. So it's a very famous quote in Bhagavatam, that a person who is doing everything very perfectly, all his duties, taking care of his family, all the commitments, community and nation, everything, but he is not inquiring about the soul and Krishna, he's simply wasting his time. So that is the gist of this verse. And Prabhupada explains that how this materialist, they always think about their own selfish activities, like what they want to achieve, and he explains that how the consciousness evolved. In animal, they are completely selfish. They always think about their own thing. So the consciousness is kind of very, it's very thick covering is on the consciousness. And the next level is little consciousness, little evolves. They get human life, but still they are very selfish. But since they're in human body, consciousness is a little bit evolved. So they think about themselves and their family. Okay, little more, they think about their community or their religion or caste, whatever. Then little more evolved people, they think about their nation. And then who are little more evolved, they think about the entire world. That's the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. Everyone is a family. So, and but the completely evolved person, the consciousness evolved person, is the one who thinks about the spirit soul, which connects the soul to Krishna, and which connects all the souls to Krishna, and who sees everybody from that angle of vision. So he is a completely evolved person. So Prabhupada goes through the gradation, like devotees, consciousness is completely evolved. He sees at the platform, on the platform of the soul, spirit soul, and he doesn't go with the bodily designation, whether it's community or family or himself or herself or a nation. So a devotee acts on the platform of soul. And yeah, so here, and Prabhupada's main point, he says that the need of the soul is to actually get out of this material coil and enter into spiritual world and see the light and see Krishna. He says that in the second para, in the very first line. So that is the need of the soul. And the devotee, that's what he works on. And he also helps others to do that. And that is a universal, you can say, um, spirithood. It's, everyone is spiritual and everyone is connected to Krishna. That is our real need. So that is, so yeah, occupational duty, it doesn't matter whether you are intentionally following or unintentionally following, you have to follow occupational duty. In Vedic culture, we have very systematic varnashrama, but in non-Vedic culture, it just happens by default. That is only difference. But everybody follows some kind of occupational duty. They follow in one of the 4 categories, whether it's Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. They fall in one of the 4 categories by default. It doesn't matter which country they are in. But if you are just stick there, you're just there for your economic development, but you're not inquiring about Krishna, then everything is shrama. Shrama means you're making effort, without any real permanent goal, just shrama. So that is a verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's very important that not following Varnashrama is okay for harmony in the society, but that should help. That should help in going to the next level of actually to be peaceful and to be satisfied. Then inquire about Krishna, and do the yoga, do chanting, do scriptural studies, have sadhu sangha. So that is a purpose. To have follow varnashrama and be peaceful, and everybody is completely satisfied, with their food and clothing and their desires, whatever desires they have. And if you're not focusing on the goal, then varnashrama is simply a waste of time. Whether it's non-Vedic culture or Vedic culture, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's very simple and straightforward purport and translation. Anybody have any reflection or anything they want to say? Anybody want to add something? Mataji, Ujjwala Mataji, want to add something?
I no, Prabhu. I just want to hear you all. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, here there is a word, Vishwakshena, says the personality of Godhead, plenary portion. So when I see this word used a lot, what is plenary portion means?
So we know that Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from him, we have many expansions and plenary portions. And expansions, the expansion, they have the same, when we have a one Vishnu form, and when he expands, so when one more Vishnu form expands from the original Vishnu form, then they have the different characteristics a little bit. They change, their appearance would be changing different. So that is called expansion. But plenary portion is pretty much they look like the original from whom they evolved, from whom they have come, and they also have same qualities, but they are little bit, they exhibit little less potency. That is a plenary portion. As expansion, they have similar potency, but they show less qualities. They exhibit less qualities. Like for example, we have Krishna and Balaram. So Balaram is an expansion of Krishna. So both are equal in potency, Krishna and Balaram, but they exhibit different qualities. Okay. Whereas if it's a plenary portion, they also coming from the Krishna, but they have little less potency, and their function is a little different. So that is what. So in Vishwakasena is basically the one who creates auspiciousness. Is a plenary portion of the Lord in spiritual world, okay, in Vaikunta. And from him, actually, Lord Ganesha expands in this world, if you see. So he removes all the obstacles on the path of any activities we take up. He removes all the obstacles. So usually Vaishnavas worship Vishwakasena when they start any yajna or sacrifice. And in Smartha, they invoke Lord Ganesha to remove any obstacles. So it's ultimately to satisfy Krishna only, but the process is different, depending on who is doing that yajna. So Vishwakasena is you can connect Vishwakasena with your activities, what you do, and your occupational duties, whatever you do. So you want to do it without any obstacles. So that's why it is mentioned here, Vishwakasena.
So Prabhu, what I understood is that you said expansion means that they have the same potency like the Lord, but they may look or their characteristics may be different. And plenary portion is their potency is little less.
But they look same. They look same. They're almost similar. They look alike, but their potency is less.
Is there any example of plenary portion, Prabhu?
Yeah, if you see in Vaikunta, you have many Vishnu forms. They appear, right? You have depending on where the placement of, you see, Vishnu holds Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Okay. So depending on where the lotus he holds, which hand he holds, and where the Gada he holds, sometimes he holds on left hand, lower left hand, and sometimes he holds Padma, upper right hand, then Chakra on left side. So they all look alike. They're all plenary portions. They all look alike, but the potency wise, they exhibit different potencies. It is like that. You cannot see any difference when you see Vishnu, unlimited Vishnu in spiritual world. Like, I don't know, I hope, I don't know when we will see, but when we see, we'll know it. Yeah. But yeah, they all look alike, and but they have different function, and they exhibit different potency.
So Vishwaksena is the plenary portion of the Lord?
Yes. Yeah, of the Lord. So here we are talking about Narayana in Vaikunta. So his plenary portion is Vishwakasena, who also looks like him.
Okay. But
with four hands.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You can actually see Vishwakasena in SV temple. There's a deity there.
Okay.
Have you been to there? Like if you enter in temple, on the right side, they have a separate temple. There's a Vishwakasena temple is there on the right hand side.
Once, Prabhu, now when I go, I will pay attention to this because I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you enter into the temple, you see the main temple, right? On the right side of the corner, you'll see Vishwakasena temple.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you again.
So anybody have any comments, any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yeah. Harivenu
Yeah,
Prabhu.
there is another temple, right, Prabhu, in the SV temple, like backside. What is that one, Prabhu?
I think that is Narasimha Swami, right, Prabhu?
Sudarshana.
Swami
Sudarshan?
Sudarshan. Okay.
They have two
Both
roads.
are there. Both are there. Narasimha Swami on the back side and Sudarshana in the front. And as we go forward, that's Visvakshena.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Then
Prabhu,
on the
can,
side you have Hanuman
oh,
temple.
Yeah, now Hanumanji.
Yeah, Hanuman is left side, right? Prabhu?
Yeah. So Vishwakasena is like right in the beginning at the right end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
A Garuda Stamba to
Yep.
the right hand side of Garuda Stamba.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, can you tell more about Visvakshena Avatar, Prabhu?
So yeah, usually Vaishnavas, when we do any activities, we invoke Vishwakasena for auspiciousness and remove any obstacles in what we are doing. So
Like we do even for Ganesha, like that, Prabhu, similarly.
yes. See, Ganesha is an expansion of Vishwakasena in material world.
Ganesh is expansion of Visvakshena. Okay.
In the material world, in this world.
Okay.
He got the elephant head later on as a pastime, but originally his position in Vaikunta is Vishwakasena with 4 hands. He looks.
Okay. That's why they keep like Lord Ganesha also in the same Visvakshena temple beside, I think.
What? Where?
Yeah, in the same Visvakshena temple, they're keeping Ganesh idol. I mean, in SV temple, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, they're keeping.
Everybody has their identity in the spiritual world. All the demigods, everybody
Okay.
has an identity in even God Lila. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even in Navadvip or in Vrindavan or Vaikunta, they have their original forms there. So they come down and do some activities. So I'm talking about not every demigod, like the families, the family like of Lord Shiva, if you take, or Narayana, or Ramchandra, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Sri Krishna. So their families, when they come, they take up certain roles in the material world to they like a cosmic management, you can say. So they want to run this material world for us. Actually, Krishna takes a lot of effort for us. Yeah.
Got you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
He even created Ekadashis where we can perform Ekadashi and gain unlimited spiritual benefit just by fasting and chanting. And he created so many auspicious timings. Like if you say in 24 hours you have this Mangalarti time, so that time whatever you do is very auspicious. Like even if you don't find any good muhurtas any time of the day, you can do that activity in during Mangalarti. So it's always auspicious. Brahma Murta it's called. So Krishna has created so many auspicious things, time, place, auspicious time and auspicious places for us to take benefit of that. If we don't take benefit, then we are like animals in a way, like or whose consciousness is completely covered, or selfish or materialistic. Yeah. And you have prasadam. So prasadam is very potent. Someone takes prasadam, they get unlimited benefit. The first benefit of taking prasadam is your next birth is again human life. For others, it may or may not be, but for anyone who takes simply just take prasadam, they'll get a human birth next life.
Okay, good to know, Prabhu. I didn't know this.
Yeah, that's
Thank
why
you
we
so
do
much,
prasadam distribution is very important. And
Okay.
every activity of bhakti is eternal, and it gives a lot of benefit, unlimited benefit. It goes to your permanent eternal bank account, and there's always deposit. There is no withdrawal there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think we have 3 more minutes, then we can go for bhajan.
Adidev Prabhu,
Yeah,
do you know
Mataji.
something about Kartikeya? Since we talked about Ganesha, Vishwakshena, about Kartikeya.
No, Mataji. We know he's in this world. He's the commander in chief of all the demigods army, but I don't know his identity. Maybe it should be in some scriptures, but I don't know his identity in spiritual world. Yeah, but yeah, he's the commander in chief. He's the senapati of the demigods army.
Yeah, he's the commander in chief. So, but Ganesha, we call Ganadipati, right? He's the Ganadipati. Vishwakshena, he plays the same role in spiritual world, and Ganesha is playing that role in the material world, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, if you observe in Balaji temple, Nrsimhadev and Sudarshan, they are on the same stone. They etched. If you see, other side is this side is Sudarshan and Bhagwan, and the other side is Nrsimha Bhagwan. And if you see throughout the Narsimha pastime, every time Prahlad Maharaj is in trouble, the Sudarshan Bhagwan comes and protects him. So, and at the end of the time also, like with the time when Hiranyakashipu tries to kill Prahlad Maharaj, then actually from the Sudarshan is right there, and from Sudarshan Nrsimhadev comes out. So he's the one who's always protecting. That's why he's called Vaishnava Astra, Sudarshan. So from him, actually, Nrsimhadev expands. So it doesn't. So God is one, but see how even from Sudarshan again, Nrsimhadev can come out, expand, and kill Hiranyakashipu. So that's why it's very significant in the temple that on the same stone, the deity is etched. This side is Sudarshan Prabhu, and the other side is Nrsimhadev.
Prabhu, any specific reason why they don't open that door of Nrsimhadev?
Yeah, Nrsimhadev's worship is very, very strict. There's some timings, so they only open that time, and only certain pujaris need to do it.
Oh, okay, got you. Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Only the Aishtik brahmacharis, not the grihasthas, for Nrsimha Bhagwan.
Yeah.
Mayapur, maybe I say, na?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah. Nrsimha Bhagwan's worship is, dealing with fire. It has to be a really strict one.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have Shaligram Shila and also Nrsimha Shila. Usually, Grihastha should not worship because it's a fast track to go to back home, back to Godhead. If someone worship Nrsimha Shila, they'll go very fast back to the spiritual world because he takes away everything. So even if you're not ready.
Yeah, it's because that kind of worship calls for such a high standard of discipline in the body and mind. Yeah, and the bhakti is just automatically flows. That kind of standard of worship is demanded.
Basically, you are not giving any other chance just to
right.
come to.
Yeah. I mean, they have to be Naishtika brahmacharis, and the rules and regulations they need to follow. There is no scope to fall down beyond mode of goodness. So they are forced to be on the transcendental platform. So it's really a fast track. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
They won't get married and
they
just focus on Krishna.
All the rules and regulations are like, they will be like fence from the modes. Very difficult to follow, but they're all protecting friends from any modes, any contacts.
They are,
no fall down chapters there.
Very less, but usually Grihastha should worship the Shaligram was Bal Gopal, like Krishna, it's very conducive for spiritual life. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Prabhu.
And Prabhu, you said that not all the demigod have the their spiritual swarup. Only like Lord Shiva's family and Lord Ramachandra, right? That did I understand correctly, Prabhu?
Yeah. So because many of jivas who are already here, who are qualified, they will get that position.
Yeah. So demigods usually are Jiva Tattva, right?
Yes, everybody is Jiva, Matan. Everybody is Jiva. Only Vishnu is Bhagavan, is Vishnu Tattva. Everybody else is Jiva.
But not Lord Shiva and family, right?
Lord Shiva is Shadashiva is a Vishnu Tattva only. But here, when in the material world, when he comes, he will be touched by the matter. So he's a special category when in the material world. It doesn't fall under Jiva, it doesn't fall under Vishnu. But in the spiritual world, he is under Vishnu Tattva, in Sadashiva. And it's very special category. But all his families are Jivas.
So if we say Lord Ganesha, he will be Jiva Tattva too, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, everybody.
Although he is an expansion of Vishwaksena?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, we also come from not only, right? Krishna says in Gita that, everything comes from me. So from Krishna has his energies. So he has three energies actually: internal energy, and external energy, and marginal energy. So from internal energy, he has some jivas coming out. They are nitya siddhas. And you have marginal potency, where the jivas are coming. They are in the material world. And then you have the external potency. It's Maya world, like the whole material world. So everything is coming from Krishna. But only Ekale Ishwara Krishna, Arasa Bhritya, means only Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Everybody else is servant. And only Vishnu Tattva is Ishwara. And everybody else is being controlled. Everybody else is servants, Jivas.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, even Brahma is also Jiva. Lord Brahma.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class. I'll do the Arya's bhajan. Share the screen.
Yeah, man.
Today's bhajan is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Sharanagati within the category of Goptritva Varan. I know a very complicated tune of this bhajan. I would try to keep it simple. If it is still complicated, please forgive me. Tumi Sarveshwareshwara Brajendra Kumar.
Tumi Sarveshwara Brajendra Kumara.
Tomarichaya Vishwe Shrajana Samhara.
Tomarichaya Vishwe Shrajana Samhara.
Tava Ichhamato Brahma Kore. Translation, sorry. O youthful son of the king of Vraja, you are Lord of all lords. According to your will, creation and destruction take place in the universe. Tava Ichhamato Brahma Korena Shrajana. Tava
Ichhamato Brahma Korena Shrajana.
इच्छामतो विष्णु कोरेन पालन
तव विष्णु
According to your will, Lord Brahma creates, and according to your will, Lord Vishnu maintains.
तव इच्छामते शिव कोरेन संहार तव
इच्छामते शिव कोरेन संहार
तव इच्छामते माया सृजे कारागार तव
इच्छामते माया सृजे कारागार
According to your will, Lord Shiva destroys, and according to your will, Maya constructs the prison house of this world.
तव इच्छा मते जीवे जन्म मरण तव
इच्छामते जीवेर जन्म मरण
समृद्धि निपाते दुख सुख संघटन
समृद्धि निपाते दुख सुख संघटन
According to your will, the living beings take birth and die, and according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow.
मिटे माया बद्ध जीव आशा पाशे फिरे
मिटे माया बद्ध जीव
आशा तव इच्छा बिना किच्छु कोरिते ना पारे तव इच्छा बिना किच्छु कोरिते ना पारे. The tiny soul, bound up by Maya, vainly struggles in the fetters of worldly desire. Without your sanction, he is unable to do anything. तुम ही तो रक्षक और पालक आमार तुम ही तो रक्षक और पालक आमार तोमार चरण बिना आशा नहीं यार
तोमार चरण बिना आशा नहीं यार.
You are my only protector and maintainer. Except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. Hare Krishna.
निज बल चेष्टा प्रति भरसा छाड़िया
निज बल चेष्टा प्रति भरसा छाड़िया
तोमार इच्छाय आछि निर्भर कोरिया
तोमार इच्छाया आछि निर्भर कोरिया. No longer confident of my own strength and endeavor, I have become solely dependent on your will.
भक्ति विनोद अति दीन किंचन
भक्ति विनोद अति दीन किंचन
तोमार इच्छाय तार जीवन मरण
जीवन मरण.
Bhakti Vinoda is most poor and his pride has been leveled. Now, in accordance with your will, he lives and dies. Hare Krishna.
सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार
तुम्हें
सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार.
तुम्हें सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार
तुम्हें सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार.
तुम्हें सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार
तुम्हें सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार.
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे हरे. ब्रजेंद्र कुमार सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार की जय. श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.